Okay, so here is part one of our Inkscape tutorial. When you open Inkscape up, it should look like something like this. You might not have all of these docked items off to the side. I'll get rid of them so that I'm forced to open them up and show you where they come from. This is your essentially 8.5 by 11 sheet that you're working in. You can change your document size. We're not going to worry about that right now. What I want to do for our tutorial is show you how I use Inkscape, which is to basically replicate things that I find that I want to copy. So in this case, we'll just go to Google, open up a new thing, drag this over to my window, and I'm going to type in that I want a picture of a unicorn. So we're going to go to images. I'm going to find a unicorn that I like the looks of. And I'm going to grab it for me. I'll grab, let's see. We'll do this one. And I'm just going to open this image in a new tab. It doesn't need to be high res. I'm not worried about attribution because I'm going to modify it enough that it doesn't matter. So I will right click, save image as desktop unicorn.png. So you should do the same. Find some sort of ping file that you want to copy. You can copy this same one if you want. That's kind of why I walked you through it. And now we'll go up to File, and we will import. And we want to import that unicorn. The presets here are fine. And I have a unicorn. I'm going to zoom in. I hit the plus button to do that. I hit the minus button to zoom out, the plus button to zoom in. And I'm going to go look at my layers. So I want to add my layer screen off to the side. Layers are exactly what they sound like. They're pieces in your file that you can separate so that you can turn one off, turn one on, lock one, have them go on top of each other to cover things up, various things like that. I'm going to take this unicorn. I'm going to add a new layer. It's going to be called background. You can determine where you're going to add it here, but I very rarely do. You add it, and then I'm just going to drag it so that it's down below layer 1. I need to make this a little bit bigger. There we go. So that it's down below layer 1. I'm going to select my unicorn, and I want it to be in my background layer. So I'm going to select this layer menu and say move selection to layer background. I'm going to move it. And so now it's in my background layer, and I can lock it, which means that I can no longer select this unicorn or move it around. I can also make my background layer have a lower opacity so that my unicorn is less obvious, so that as I'm tracing over top of it, I'm not missing things. So I've done all of that, and I'm going to go up to layer 1, which is going to be my working layer. And so a little bit about the tools, about how we're going to draw things and do things. So I could, first of all, if I was really, I don't know, good, I could go ahead and take this pencil line and trace my unicorn out. But I'm definitely not that good. That's why I like Inkscape. So I could have, you know, a unicorn doing various things. I don't want to do that. That is a pencil. You can use it for that. You can use these shapes. You can see my shape is doing some weird things. That's because I was playing with my stroke and fill earlier. So I can go up here to Object, Fill and Stroke. And I was messing with my stroke style. I said I wanted it to be dashes. We'll change it back to solids. But you can see there's a bunch of different stroke styles here that you can use for various things. Generally, you wouldn't use it for a shape. You'd use it in a specific incidence. So back up here to solid. I can change my stroke paint to be red. I can change my fill to be blue. I can do whatever I want with that. So that's a square. You can do the same thing with a circle. But again, that's not the power of Inkscape. The power of Inkscape for me is over here in this tool right here called the Bezier curve, where you can draw a line. What'd I do? Draw another line, go back and forth. You can either hit enter when you're done, or if you want a connected shape, see how that little square there, that node highlights when I hover over it, and it kind of auto snaps. I can snap on that to have a connected shape. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this zigzag, but I'm going to show you some things about this connected shape. What's so cool about this Bezier curve is you just generally get an outline of what you want, and then you can come over here to this node edit path by nodes tool, and you can select one of these nodes and use your shift button, okay, and you can drag out a handle, and you can drag out a handle in each direction, okay, and then you can play with editing how you want the path. The further you get the handle out, the further the path stretches. You can make them go all sorts of crazy ways, okay, and do crazy things. Now, I might want a nice round path up here, but you'll note that I still have kind of an edge there. I want to select that, and if I go up to here, I can, this one makes them symmetric, I don't want that, but I can make my nodes smooth. And now, no matter what I do with this, how big I stretch it out, anything like that, it'll form this, it'll keep this line straight, which will make my node smooth. So I can do the same thing down here. Remember, shift to extend it, shift to extend it in the other way. If I want them symmetric, it means that when one grows, the other also grows. Oop, did I not do that? If I want them symmetric, they should be the same. Yep, there we go. Somehow I got it off of that. Okay, as one grows, the other grows. I can make a nice figure 8 by being completely crazy. Okay, and it just means they're going to go out in the same distance in each way. Okay. If you decide, oops, I didn't actually want that, you can go back to doing this. Is it going to give me a tooltip again? Make selected nodes corner, and then you can actually mess with them again in different ways. You can see you can get a lot of different fun shapes from this. This is kind of why I like Inkscape, is it gives me a chance to play, which isn't something I'm really good at with pencil and paper. So if I want to make a funny little shape here, I want to make this one smooth. I can make some sort of weird guy. I could put an eye here, and this could be my mouth. Oh, I want my nose to come out a little bit more. Okay, I can also pick these nodes up and move them out to change my shape to be the way I want it to be. Now, if I go back up here and select all of this, I can tap on it and I can rotate it so it looks like the face I've now created. Okay, so that's kind of how we do things. Now, I'm going to come and show you how I would start to trace out pieces of this unicorn. Okay, first of all, you'd kind of look at what makes sense as pieces, because this has, you know, a hard ending. This one does too. I might go up and maybe today we'll just work on shaping this mane. Okay, and I want the mane and the tail to actually be in a separate layer. That way I can put the body on top of it and not worry that they're spilling over into this nice neat line here. So I'm going to go ahead and go to layers. I'm going to add a layer, and the layer is going to be called mane. And that way I'm not going to worry again about going into the body and having it be neat and following the line of that horse, because I can just put the horse down right on top of it. And so I'm going to go and create another Bezier curve. I'm going to start at the beginning. And then it seems like you'd want to do a lot of dots, but I'm actually just going to do dots at each of these points right here. Okay. And I'm going to hit enter and I'm going to have my line. And so now I'm going to edit with these nodes. There we go. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to use each of them. So I'm going to pull this one out too. That one looks like it got that one. I want this one. Okay, and I'm going to just kind of get the shape this way. Now, I'm trying to do it exact right now. Later on, I'll go through and kind of edit it the way I want it to look. But I pull it out, I shift, I get this one, I pull it out, and I just keep kind of playing with them. Shift again to get this one matching up, and then shift click here to get this one matching up. And then I'm going to shift again to get this one. Oh, this one's a little bit trickier. There we go. And here, this one, it might be the case that I actually do need another one because it kind of goes in before going back out. And so I actually want to go ahead and add another node here. I'm going to select on this line here, and you're going to see it kind of highlights this node and this node. And I'm going to add another one in here. So you see I got another line right here. Oh, I'm trying to move them. And I want to undo that. And then click outside of it. I had too many nodes selected. I want to kind of put this one somewhere around here. But this is a case where this node I am going to want to be a smooth node. I'm going to want them to move together because I don't want it to realize I kind of clicked on it. Because I want to be able to pull this one in and then pull this one back out. Same with here. There. And so I kind of like the looks of that. That's my unicorn mane. I want to move this one in a little bit more so I know that it gets covered. And then I can later on go and mess with it in a different sort of way. Now, I can go ahead and fill that in with blue. I can make it a magenta mane. I can mess with the opacity some so that it's not quite so dark. I can pretty much do anything I want to playing with these tools. But that's all for today. I want you to try and do that with whatever image you want to mess around. We'll do a little bit more with that next time, and then we'll move on to some other fill and paint styles.